All right, a new study out of Northwestern University finds that more teens, adolescents we're talking about here, are choosing top surgery. You can guess what that means. And they're doing this at very young ages to go under gender reassignment surgery if they are say a woman or a girl, young girl is identifying as a boy, she undergoes top surgery. But you know, Bob, it's kind of like once you go down that road,
Absolutely.
maybe you feel great immediately.
Yeah, that's what they're calling this now, this procedure in which a girl who is developing that development is stopped surgically.
Yeah, getting a double
essentially,
mastectomy.
Melanie. And it's like, if you're an adult and you want to do this kind of thing, fine. I get more and more distressed of people in power allowing adolescents who may be going through a phase or may not know exactly where they are as they mature, taking such permanent, making those decisions and taking those steps.
It is distressing, it's upsetting, it's sad. Since when do teenagers get to make these kind of drastic decisions? You can't vote, you can't carry a gun, you can't drink, you can't do a whole lot of things until you're 18 or 21. And yet we're allowing teens to make this kind of decision. And I would even argue, even at age 18, it's probably far too young. How many of us made decisions when we were 18 that now as mature adults we find quite regrettable? And to let teens, preteens make these kinds of life-altering decisions about themselves, it is just horrible. It is a horrible thing to allow. It's just a horrible thing to do, and it's just very, very sad.
Yeah, Steve, I want to get your thoughts on this, because certain things, even if you're, a young kid and you get a tattoo, well, okay, you can undo it if you want, or those things. But even to Melanie's point, you can't vote, you can't drink, you can't, in many places you can't smoke because it's considered bad for your body. What about getting a gender reassignment surgery that you can't undo? How is that okay?
It's not okay. It's I'm surprised as Americans we're even having this conversation. I believe, and I think you all know where I stand, I believe there's a spiritual warfare against our kids going on in America. A lot of people don't like to say it. I'll say it. I say it every night on my radio show. We need to start addressing that. There's a spiritual warfare against our children. There's a movement to groom our children. I'm like you, Bob. If you're an adult and you want to make these decisions, that's between you and your family, your friends, your God. But do not keep pushing this ridiculousness on children that can't even think. I mean, some of them don't even know long multiplication, and we're making decisions to remove their breasts. I mean, good God, what's happened to us? That's my question.
Yeah. Melanie, I wanted to get your thought on this. Hillary Clinton recently comparing Trump supporters to Nazis. Listen.
How did people get basically drawn in by Hitler? How did that happen? And I'd watch newsreels and I'd see this guy standing up there ranting and raving and people shouting and raising their arms. I thought, what's happened to these people? Why did they believe that? You saw the rally in Ohio the other night. Trump is there ranting and raving for more than an hour. And you have these rows of young men with their arms raised. I thought, what is going on? So they're...
Melanie, I usually make it a rule never to use the term Holocaust and try to compare it to anything. And a similar thing with Nazis, just dropping that term. Number one, it would lose the impact of what the Nazis really were. But this also seems so politically motivated that she's going to that extent.
Certainly it's politically motivated. And, my gut response to this is not fit for family television. It makes me so absolutely angry. These as a Trump supporter myself, Hillary, and if you notice, I'm very much a woman and very much Black. And I'm a Trump supporter, not a white male with my hand in the air. No, someone who's a critical thinker and looks at public policy in a way of how it's going to benefit me personally and Americans nationwide. That's what Trump supporters are, ma'am, not these Nazis that, as you so call us. It is infuriating that she says these kinds of things and gets away with it as if it's okay. And much like the left does with racism and everything else, they will dumb it down, water it down, and they call everything racism. They call everything Nazism.
Yeah.
Anything that they don't like.
Yeah, I'm glad you showed a modicum of restraint there.
I was going to say, if Hillary Clinton had a modicum of respect for what she was actually talking about,
very nice.
Maybe she would have rethought comparing Trump to Nazis.
All right, Steve, we got to run. I'm sorry. Melanie Collette, Steve Sanchez, thank you so much. And coming up, folks.